Yes, hello and good afternoon. I'm here creating the video study guide for 308 at Houston Community College, and I'm going through and collecting some information that I believe is important to creating algebraic expressions or inequalities that we can solve. So this is some important information that I believe. I'm just going to go over some of the vocabularies for inequalities. Now, this is one thing that I believe, I always have the difficulty like being able to put the sign the right way. So if we learn the vocabulary, we should have enough experience with the vocabulary to go ahead and start reading some of the word problems that we will see coming up and be able to put the sign in the right order. Now I'm going to go over just some basic ones that we see here and show you how to address the sign notation for that. And the important words that we're going to learn here is our list, and as you see, I haven't put what it means over here on this side because I'm going to show you as I go through. So we know that if you have something more than or less than, then we have our little chomping symbols that whatever the notation is. If it's over here on this side, it's always the greater. If it's on this side, it's the smaller side. I remember I had a teacher when I was in elementary that showed me that this was an alligator and you're always going to want to chomp the more, the greater. So, and the little peak, of course, means it's less than. So we can go ahead and say that I'm going to go ahead and fill the ones here out that are less than. So if you have like a variable, not a valuable, well maybe we can say it's a valuable, and say that your little joule is less than an amount. You could have your joule, of course, is less than, let's say you sent your joule out to your watch and they're saying, okay, we're going to give you less than $100 for it. So they can come up to 99.9 but it can't be more than that because, of course, it would be greater than at that time. So if they're saying, okay, you're going to auction and you're selling that watch, and you're saying it has to be more than $100, and you won't take any less than that. It has to be greater than. So your watch is more than $100 there, so you can fill in whatever amount you want here, and of course you'll agree that it is more than 100. So you can also say that if you come here, you do the same thing for this type of notation. So we know that if it's no more than, we'll give you no more than $100. We'll give you no more than 100. So we know that it's going to be equal to $100 or less for that. Somebody's saying, I'm not going to take, we'll give you no more than 100. So, and then of course you can also do it the other way. No less than, I'll take no less than 100. Just like that. And of course this little sign here, remember it stems off from the equal sign. So if you see this here, meaning it's equal to that amount or whichever sign the notation is, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to, that's how we just put this little equal sign at the bottom. Okay, so now that we've got our basics out of the way, these are the basic ones that we see. And these ones up here are, we get into more of an issue. So say that we have an age and we say, I wish you could see that. Is that better? Yeah, it's a little bit better. Okay, so Tommy is at least an amount. I'm going to say Tommy is at least an amount here. So we could say Tommy is at least, can't tell how old he is, So we know he's at least 15. So we know we see this amount here. He's at least 15 or older. He's at least 15 or older. So, and then you can do the opposite. At most. He's at most 15. So that would mean that Tommy is 15 or less. Okay, so, and of course you can translate these exact same expressions pretty much the same way. So if you've got like an amount where like if you're trying to buy a car or something, you know, and you're like, okay, we can't exceed this amount of money in our budget for our car. So we can't exceed, so the car cannot exceed. Okay, see? Told you. Okay, cannot exceed, so it's got to be that equal to or greater than amount, or less than amount here. Let's see how much would be a good car. $10,000? That's how much my budget is. I can go up to 10,000, but it can't exceed that. Now, must exceed. I've got a budget, and you know I gotta make my money, and my bills are $22,000 a month. So I know I must exceed $22,000 if I want to have some fun this month. So my bills are, and of course that'd be a lot of bills, but you never know. Some business expenditures are pretty expensive. So, you know, you must exceed $22,000 for that month if you're going to be making a profit. So, and of course, you know, it's overextending your bill. So you've got to at least make that. So we must exceed $22,000. I put a C for can. And those are our basics. So at least 15. He's at least 15, meaning he's old. Wait, I see. He's at least 15. So he could be older, but he's at least 15. At most, he's at most 15. So Tommy could be younger than 15, but he's at most 15. Okay, I want to go buy a new car, and it cannot exceed $10,000. So this is my car. Bam. Must exceed equal to that. Less than, of course, we know these two. These two are the common ones that we have seen thus far, greater than and less than. So it's less than $100, more than $100, no more than 100. We'll take no more. No less. No less than. That means that we want more. Like no less than that amount. Like we'll take no less. No less than 50 on that. So it's got to be 50 or more before we go in and make that offer, right? Before we go in and chomp in on that offer. So hopefully it wasn't too big and I was able to help you out with some of these here. And I know that I need to go over the vocabulary a little bit more because I'm still a little rusty with it. So, and I'm pretty I was pretty instinctive with these types of inequalities. But as soon as you learn the vocabulary and the sign which we need to do and how you write it, as you can see, I use my variable on one side, and then I put the amount on the other. So, and then I put the sign notation, whether it was greater than or less than, depending on what we needed to do on the other side. So.